Sorry about that. I'm a little unprepared here. But I'm ready now. Welcome back. I'm back. I haven't gone anywhere. I just took a much needed break. And I needed a break to get my health in order. And I feel a lot better. So I'm going to get back to my usual scheduled program. As you all know, dog attacks have not ceased. Dogs being ushered into schools, libraries, hospitals is still on the rise. Nothing has changed. In fact, everything has gotten worse. Everything is getting worse by the year. It literally feels like dog attacks are increasing noticeably by the year. Meaning you don't need to listen or hear statistics to understand that or to realize that fact. Dog attacks are increasing every year by the year, which means dog experts are supposed to be on the front lines, guiding people. But also, if you ask me, dog behaviorists, or I like to just say experts, they interchange between veterinarians, trainers, and behaviorists. They need to be just like medical doctors in the sense that their knowledge changes with time. They are always in a mode of practice. And dog experts need to be reevaluated using that standard, the same standard as medical doctors. These people are not experts. They're not. What they are is dog fanatics. And dog fanaticism is not what we need to hear when people are being killed, permanently mutilated, and the primary targets is defenseless, helpless victims. That is sick. That is evil. Now, with that in mind, I want this broadcast right here that you're looking at on the screen to hammer that point home that I just made. I'm going to let her give you an example of what I'm talking about that we don't need right now. And I don't know why other people are not picking this up. I pick up on patterns. I don't know how anybody else's brain operates. So when you listen to one of my videos, you're going to hear a lot of pattern recognition. Okay? And I don't recognize a pattern unless it either is or could be significant. Now this involves an attack. You see the headline. Had a dangerous dog encounter with stray dogs. Dangerous encounter with stray dogs. We want to hear about it. This is a Houston media outlet. Okay? And they are trying to find out where the attacks happen so they can create a map. Another useless response to dog attacks. What's the purpose of making a map? So that people could avoid those parts of the city? So you're encouraging xenophobia now? Listen to this.
Dangerous dogs.
After a series of violent attacks.
Well, wait a minute. Let me make some minor adjustments here. All right, let's continue.
Dogs.
After a series of violent attacks in our area, KPRC2 wants to protect you and your loved ones. Just last night, we spoke with a woman in her 70s who was mauled by a pack of dogs in her own neighborhood. Tonight, we are highlighting the warning signs to keep you out of danger.
KPRC2's Coley Peel spoke to a dog
Now, okay.
behavioral specialist at the Houston Humane
Dog behavioral specialist at the Houston Humane Society. She put herself out there.
Society to find out how to read a dog.
Find out how to read a dog. Now, here's your first mistake, experts.
For many dog lovers, if they see a dog, they want to pet the dog. But the Humane Society says there are several behavioral factors to look out for to see if that dog is aggressive. An 83-year-old man attacked by two large dogs near Katy. A 74-year-old woman badly injured after being attacked by 7 dogs in Liberty County. An Aldine boy mauled on a school bus. And a woman near Tomball killed after being attacked by her own dog. These dog attacks all happening in the past month. Kimmy Bear with the Houston Humane Society says it's important to know how to read a dog. When do you know that a dog might be in attack mode?
So when a dog is probably going to close distance to scare you away, you'll notice their
Whoa, 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 whoa. Scare you away? These dogs are not scaring these people away. They're not trying to scare them away. What are you talking about? They're attacking them. Didn't you just see the videos they flashed before the screen? What are you talking about? Scare them away? Don't try to change the subject. Don't try to change it to a more comfortable topic for you. Don't change the subject at all. What are you talking about? Now, she just tried to change the subject, but I'm not going to let her. The hell is she talking about? Scare you away. Dogs don't even do that, woman. What are you talking about? Don't scare people away. Natural animals scare people away. Numbnut.
In attack mode.
So when a dog is probably going to close distance to scare you away, you'll notice their ears will be forward, set on their head. So a lot of times you'll see wrinkles over their eyebrows. So that means they're very, very alert.
This so-called expert just told the general public to look for wrinkles above a dog's eyebrows. Okay. Now, you ask me, she should be drug tested.
To scare you away, you'll notice their ears will be forward, set on their head. So
Ears will be forward, set on their... Some dogs can't raise their ears. What are you talking about? Are you high? Show ain't no expert. Why don't you be quiet? I've heard enough already, to be honest. Unfortunately, she has more. She's already made multiple mistakes. But let's allow her to finish.
you'll notice their ears will be forward, set on their head. So a lot of times you'll see wrinkles over their eyebrows. So
What? What the did you just say? Wrinkle? Lord. Not all dogs have wrinkles. The dogs that have wrinkles, some of them you can't see them because they're covered with fur. Some dogs have more wrinkles than others. How do you expect people to spot or see wrinkles from a distance? Which is where most dogs come from when they launch an attack. And if they're close enough for you to see wrinkles, they're too close for you to get away, to do anything to stop the attack. And to be honest, you, so-called expert, if you saw wrinkles and all this nonsense and the dog launched an attack, you would not be able to stop the attack. especially if it were one of these breeds that attack these people that they're talking about on this very broadcast that you're supposed to be talking about. What you say, your advice needs to be in line with the attacks that they brought to your attention. But let's allow her to finish.
A lot of times you'll see wrinkles over their eyebrows. So that means they're very, very alert in what's going on. Their tail will usually be up, like held over their back, and very, very stiff. So when I mean stiff, I mean the dog looks like a statue.
What are some common
People, these are signs that a dog is fixated on something and might attack. It's not always a guarantee that the dog will attack, but when they're fixated on something, they do what she just described. However, there's a certain breed that was bred to not do all that. That same breed just so happens to be the breed that causes the most damage, the most bloodshed. Okay, so what you just shared with the public is meaningless. Doesn't help them at all, right? You just babbled. That's what you did. You babbled. But let's allow the expert to finish. And look, maybe some of you dog lovers believe all this nonsense. Maybe. I wouldn't doubt it. I would not put that past any of you, that y'all soak all this up and believe every word.
Will usually be up, like held over their back, and very, very stiff. So when I mean stiff, I mean the dog looks like a statue.
What are some common mistakes that maybe people make when they see stray dogs?
So a lot of times stray dogs are dogs that have been in homes and have either been dumped or escaped. So they
Okay. Now you heard what she just said? Let me back that up.
Homes and have either been
When they see stray dogs.
So a lot of times stray dogs are dogs that have been in homes and have either been dumped or escaped. So they
She's talking about the United States only, okay? I already know people in other countries have much different stories about what stray dogs are. But that gives you an example, what she just said. Gives you an example or confirms what I've always said. We don't deal with the stray dog problem that they deal with in other countries. Dogs in this country, all of them are used to people. She just shared that information to make you think that some dogs in the United States are not used to people. They are all used to people, all of them. There's no way they can't be. There are too many nutters in this country. I've seen dumb dogs wandering around. They don't wander for long. Nutters are going to stop. They're going to stop. They're going to try to offer it food. They're going to try to rescue it. Okay? So there's no way to train them. It doesn't matter if they're strays or if they're domestic. They're all the same. They're all bloodthirsty. They all launch unprovoked attacks.
So a lot of times stray dogs are dogs that have been in homes and have either been dumped or escaped. So they are used to people. So a lot of times when you see these dogs, their tails are tucked, their ears are back.
That's another lie. When you see dogs wandering around in the United States, their tails are not tucked. What are you talking about? Can you please show us an example, ma'am, if you're listening to this video? Show us. I want to see video now. Video only. You show me surveillance camera, nothing that you've doctored, surveillance camera of dogs wandering free off leash with their tail tucked. That's a lie. They tuck their tail really in only very rare situation. Everybody knows this. This is not great wisdom coming from IHD. Everybody knows this. That's a bold-faced lie. Even dog lovers know that's a lie. I don't know where she's getting this from. Now, there's a method to my current madness, see? Be mindful that dog attacks are increasing by the year. As you keep that close in mind, listen to her. This is an expert.
They're giving a lot of fear signals, like maybe they're licking their lips. They're kind of trying
Giving a lot of fear signals. So she's projecting all dogs as afraid of you. They're all afraid of you. So if they attack you, it's out of fear. Oh, they're not aggressive. They're not bloodthirsty. They're afraid. I'm not buying it. Nobody's buying it. Even dog lovers know that's a lie. So why are you even saying it? Not even dog lovers are that dumb. These dogs ain't afraid of nothing. They attack because they're deranged, mutated predators. Simple as that. So they're more aggressive than natural animals. That's part of their mutation.
Fear signals, like maybe they're licking their lips. They're
And whoa, fear signals, licking lips.
kind of trying to avoid you.
Well, avoid you? What are you talking about? You think these dogs that attacked these people was trying to avoid them and was afraid of them? What type of expert are you? Please, enlighten us. What type of expert are you? But continue. All right, you're on a roll, ma'am.
A little bit.
Fear, it's afraid. Try to get away from you. Chase you away. Oh, the innocent poor pooch. It doesn't want to shut up.
The fear signals, like maybe they're licking their lips. They're kind of trying to avoid you a little bit.
Bear says dogs commonly resort to...
What? You really? And that's all that she had to say, really? So her moment to teach the general public ended like that? Where she just said nothing but a bunch of lies and told you a bunch of stuff that's not going to keep you safe, not going to increase the chances that you avoid a dog attack. It's going to increase the chances that you get attacked. Remember, this is a media outlet out of Houston. This is Texas.
They're kind of trying to avoid you a little bit.
Bear says dogs commonly resort to fight or flight.
And hopefully...
She said, did y'all hear that?
They're kind of trying to avoid you a little bit.
Bear says dogs commonly resort to fight or flight.
Now, they're trying to push this narrative that dogs go into fight or flight. That's a good point to stop. Take a break. She said the dogs go into fight or flight. The dogs. That's a human thing. She said the dog goes into fight or flight. Here you walking down the street, dog comes out of a home from far away. Runs a long distance, attacks you. She's saying it's afraid of you. That's fight or flight. It was trying to get away from you. It was really trying to shoo you away. Okay? These are dog experts. And you know what? What I'm trying to show is that they don't evolve their knowledge, and they should, just like doctors. Their rhetoric should supposed to evolve with time, because they are, no matter how much they try to ignore it, they're learning more and more about dogs, just like everybody else. Just like doctors are learning more and more about the human body, despite the fact they've been practicing for decades. Still practicing. Where do you practice? All right. Now, we know that was a lie, what she just said. That was crazy. First time I've heard that. I've never heard that. If y'all have heard it, let me know where. She said dogs go into fight or flight. Now, the truth is that dogs send people into fight or flight because dogs are the aggressors. They see you and want to attack you because they get off on killing living organisms. Okay? That's why they attack people randomly, unprovoked, and animals randomly, unprovoked. And think about the farm animals. How far of a distance dogs have to travel to get there. Don't tell me they're trying to shoo those animals away. These are not experts. Simple as that. Now listen.
Avoid you a little bit.
Bear says dogs commonly resort to fight or flight.
And hopefully we see the flight part, right? Where you approach them and they go, bye, like I'm out of here. And a lot of dogs will also resort to fighting, right? So they feel like the only way to get you to go away is to come at you with aggressive behaviors.
Only way to get you to go away? So she's trying to put it into your head that when dogs attack, they're actually afraid of you and they're trying to get you to go away. Now, here recently, I've reported on, or the most recent stories I've reported on, kids were at bus stops. What do you think? Do you think the dog lives at a bus stop? No, that dog traveled great distances to get to that bus stop. It was the kids who wanted the dog to go away. Don't sit there and tell us the dog wanted them to go away. Like, this is absolute madness, people. And for nobody to point this out, I always say that's criminal. This is complete madness. I've never heard, this is hard to compete with. I haven't heard many other so-called experts sound this ridiculous. Wow. Like, it's worth rewinding a little bit.
Way to get you to go away is
Like, oh, wow. Wow, this is like premium nuttery right here. Okay? This is next level, leveled up nuttery.
hi, like I'm out of here. And a lot of dogs will also resort
Okay.
to fighting, right? So they feel like
This,
the only
this is an expert after a couple blunts. After a couple blunts, fat blunts, couple shots of whiskey. Here's the nut. This is what this sounds like. Nutter, it's time. You're drunk, you're high, and somebody says, okay, school us. Teach us how to avoid dog attacks. And that's what this sounds like.
you approach them and they go, bye, like I'm out of here. And a lot of dogs will also resort fighting, right? So they feel like the only way to get you to go away is to come at you with aggressive behavior. So like barking, snarling, snapping.
It may be
barking, snarling, snapping. Here, earlier in this broadcast, they talked about some elderly people who were thrashed. They were mauled. They showed people latched onto by dogs. And she said they'll snap, try to chase you away. Okay? And y'all think I'm being unreasonable or unfair by pointing out how dishonest these people. This is like, it's a disservice. As a taxpayer citizen, I am insulted. These people are supposed to be in place to make our communities safer. They're supposed to be the experts on dogs. Dogs are dangerous pets, deadly pets. More proven to be deadly and dangerous than any other animal in society. The experts on them are crucial in society. Stop projecting these people as if they're just sidekicks. That's why anybody can be a behaviorist. Y'all see that, right? They don't have to do much schooling to become an expert.
Fighting, right? So they feel like the only way to get you to go away is to come at you with aggressive behavior. So like barking, snarling, snapping.
It may be tempting, but Bear suggests never approaching a stray or unknown dog, even if it has a collar.
Never approach a stray or unknown dog. So practice cynophobia. Because someone else's dog is an unknown dog. Understand what she's saying here. She's telling people to practice You knew they always contradict themselves. Always. If you tell people not to approach unfamiliar dogs that they don't know, that's all dogs. Other than their own. Aside from dogs that might belong to a family member that you visit often. If you visit every now and then, you're still in danger. So you're also suggesting that those people don't go over there. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am, for supporting my argument. Thank you. See, I told y'all that's what you're supposed to do. I told y'all you're supposed to avoid dogs. Now they're finally telling you. Now, am I crazy or what?
It may be tempting, but Bear suggests never approaching a stray or unknown dog, even if it has a collar.
Yeah, so when you see somebody with a dog like this on a leash, get away from them. Huh? The expert told you to. It's not just IHD. some uncredible person on YouTube with a big mouth. She told you. Now what? Avoid them. Okay, kids? When you see a person with a dog, don't ask permission to pet. Don't do that. Walk as far away from them as possible. That should be the biggest circle that you ever walked in your life to avoid something. Thank you, ma'am. That's the best I could do with what she said. But you hear how she suggested that you do nothing to protect yourself. Basically, sacrifice yourself. Did she tell you to do anything? She just said, don't approach them. She said, hopefully, they'll just run away from you. But sometimes they'll attack you. She didn't say what to do. The only thing she said, spotting dangers, the only thing she said was look for wrinkles in their eyes. It was just so stupid. Such a stupid thing to say. Tail, God, I've heard better arguments. Okay, but these are your experts.
Is to come at you with aggressive behavior. So like barking, snarling, snapping.
It may be tempting, but Bear suggests never approaching a stray or unknown dog, even if it has a collar.
You never ever want to run away, and you don't want to turn your back, because when you turn your back, that can trigger like a prey response and they can come at you.
So what are you supposed to do? Why didn't y'all let her finish that? She just said, don't run away, don't turn your back. Okay, what are we supposed to do? Just stand there? Yeah, be a tree. No, thank you. Is that what she is indirectly suggesting? Yeah, just be a tree. Don't turn your back and don't run away. So just stand there so you can get attacked. That's another way of telling people to just sacrifice themselves. Now let's let this other lady finish.
Response, and they can come at you.
If you own a dog that's known to be aggressive, Bear suggests using positive reinforcement methods. She says it's scientifically proven to help with a dog's behavioral issues.
What? Back it up, back it up, back it up. Wow. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. Say that again.
At you.
If you own a dog that's known to be aggressive.
If you own a dog that's known to be aggressive,
Bear suggests using positive reinforcement methods.
Offer it food. When it doesn't attack you, offer it food. If it attacks you, don't give it food. And then just decide when it's time to give it food. You're going to come across to that dog like a submissive punk, just so you know, and it could attack you at any time. And understand, she gave this advice to people who already have a dog showing aggression. Do y'all think that's smart? Just offered, get rid of it. What are you talking about? Wow. No, it has not shown to do nothing and offer no mutt food. Never turn no dog into a harmless dog that won't attack nobody. Shut up. I'm sick of people and their flipping lies. And your pathetic advice. This is Texas, the state of guns. Huh? It's the gun state. In Texas, any dog that is attacking can be shot. You see that? Now, of course, they said any dog that is attacking or even worrying or chasing any other animal may be shot. That's what they highlight because they always try to minimize this. This means you may be legally allowed to defend not only yourself, but also your pets. So when I searched it, when I Googled this, Texas laws shoot dog approaching aggressively, the top result was shoot it if it's attacking your dog or your cat or your pet. Oh, and if it's attacking you too. Okay. Y'all and y'all's backwards logic. Okay? So, to try to patch up with the disservice of this so-called expert, I'll give you some advice. You see a dog, a stray dog, stay away from it. Seek cover. Of course, you don't try to approach it. More than that, if you go outside for anything, be armed. And if a dog approaches you aggressively, trying to attack you, shoot it. Aim for its wide open, disgusting mouth. I say that because that's probably the easiest target on an attacking dog. Let it swallow that bullet. Immediately, that worthless, dumb, bloodthirsty mutt is going to calm down, most likely run in a different direction after it catches that bullet. Then, problem solved. You don't sustain any injury at all. Now, if you stand there like a dummy and be a tree, most likely you're going to get attacked. So, do that at your own risk. You know, when you follow a social dynamic like this, in my opinion, you got to be able to recognize patterns. You got to have good pattern recognition. Now, mine is not the best. It's not the best. But I'm working on it. I'm strengthening it. And you should always practice pattern. Anybody who doesn't, you're in position to be victimized or bamboozled, tricked, led like sheep. See? All governments do this. They look for patterns. They base a lot of their decisions on patterns. Who listens to who? Like me, for example. I can guarantee you they know fully well who listens to me most often. Y'all heard I got an offer by a gaming company who asked to advertise on my channel. That is because a number of gamers follow me. I've been knowing this for years. How do you think they know that? You see, ain't nobody reach out to advertise dog food on my channel. No, gaming. Oh, we want to introduce a new game. Why? How do you? Because you know a bunch of gamers follow me. They recognize patterns and try to capitalize on it. So, if I see patterns, I'm going to point it out. And I think everybody should practice pattern recognition. Now, I want to kick back and just chit chat. It's 1:21 a.m. Okay. On the most recent live stream, I talked about certain people who tend to own pit bulls. Not to say that other types of people don't own pit bulls, but for the most part, I've seen a pattern with bully breed owners. They all usually are covered with dog hair. Not usually, quite often. It might be usually. They usually got saliva all over their clothes. They just look very covered with foreign filth, bacteria, dander, excrement. It's disgusting. Now, every now and then you might find some clean, somewhat clean, outwardly clean suburban family with pit bulls every now and then. But if you notice, they're pretty much the same way too. I don't know why people get this idea that people who live in the suburbs are not low class. Many of them are. Many of them are just as trashy as anybody you'd find in the inner city. They just ran up on a bag and got a nice home somewhere. People who live out in nice areas know fully well there are a bunch of trashy people out there too. So that could help you. That knowledge could help you. It could help you to be on high alert when you see some of these types of people come around. Your antennas go up. You keep an eye on them. And who knows? You recognizing what the typical bully breed owner looks like might help you identify them in time where you can leave, sidestep, or even defend yourself by blowing that raggedy mutt's turd face off. I don't think there's no benefit to turning a blind eye to patterns, especially when it has to do with life and death, maulings, lethal attacks. That's not going to benefit you, not one bit. It can only help you. You just got to know when to apply it, when to use it. Now let me segue into something else. Before I made this channel, I spent maybe a decade researching different cults, researching different organizations, Freemasons, ancient societies and cults and rituals, of course, Satanism, and that's just one of the things I've researched. And so, there's a lot of people who don't research that type of stuff. It makes them uncomfortable. It makes them very uncomfortable. And they just don't get into that type of stuff. Yeah, no thank you. But I was into it. It didn't bother me. I was interested. I'm a nerd. But you got to understand, when people know certain things, they operate different. They move different. They notice different things. You always got to be mindful of that. In my opinion, you should always be receptive to that. You should practice that yourself. Practice being lenient in your thinking. I'm the type of person whose thoughts and beliefs change with new information. I just play this dangerous game of knowing when the information is relevant, how relevant it is, etc. But I feel like it comes naturally to me. And who knows? I could be wrong most of the time. I don't know. But a good deal of the time, I'm correct. I'll say that. So listen, we're dealing with a very serious social dynamic with these dog attacks, because the laws have rigged. The laws are rigged for dog owners, and they're rigged to ensure that they get away when their dogs that they acquired attack someone, whether it be a neighbor, someone in their home, someone other than themselves. When it attacks someone other than themselves, then they should be liable. They should be liable. So if your dog attacks someone else, that's a problem. That's something to worry about. Well, the problem is that you can arrange for dogs to attack someone else. You can set it up, especially when you are the parent of a toddler. Now, I'm not accusing anybody of doing nothing. I'm pointing out what's possible. And if it's possible, there's a good chance I'm not the first one that thought of it. There's nothing that I can think of that I've independently thought of. Nothing. Y'all heard that saying, nothing new under the sun. Dogs been around for a while, even here in America. Let's say since the 1980s. That's plenty of time for somebody to have thought of this. And you got to understand, people will always entertain the thought of something if it makes them money, even if it's immoral. We all know that. We know that. People are willing to do things that are extremely immoral for money. That's very dangerous. When people are willing to do that and laws are rigged for them to do it and get away with it, your antennas, you better have 5 antennas up. If you're a true law person, this is what the FBI and everything needs to be doing. I won't say FBI. Let me take that back. I retract that statement. This is what the letter organizations should be doing. I'll say that. And the cops. What is the pattern of the people? For example, there are certain types of dog attacks that should be categorized. And you should, for example, the people whose kids get attacked, is there a pattern? Is the parent that usually comes out in front of the camera crying, is there a pattern there? Is it male or female? Okay, tall or short? What are their beliefs? What's their religion? What are they into? What are their practices? This is what real detective work involves. What is she into? That's higher thinking. That's not foolishly, blurting stuff out. Now, let's say we are detectives. No, forget about that. I don't speak for nobody but myself. I'm a detective. And somebody put me on the case of dog attacks. Let me tell you something. If I've been studying different organizations, Satanism, if I've been studying, shout out to Calvin, who pointed out, or at least was the first comment that I've seen, who pointed out that Moloch was a deity that required child sacrifice. In fact, someone else left a comment, pointed out that multiple ancient deities like Baal, Moloch, and Baphomet, I believe, you will find that the followers or worshipers of these deities believe in child sacrifice. You see, this is very dangerous, how people look at something as serious as human sacrifice as something you shouldn't talk about. Y'all need to get over that. Everybody who's caught up in that type of habit thinking, that's exactly what keep crazy people on this planet. You feeling like, oh, we shouldn't talk about that now. But they're eagerly thinking and talking about sacrifices to make. So what type of person are you for making an effort to not even think about it? The hell? No. Now, like I said, for years, at least a decade, man, because I got into this stuff really in the late 90s. I started getting in this because it was crazy to me. I'm like, what? Because I heard about the Church of Satan. I'm like, Church of Satan? And all this time I thought it was like something that somebody made up, like some idiot. But no, it's like a real establishment. And that's what got me into it. I'm like, no, church. Why call it a church? But it involved a whole lot of stuff. Now listen, shout out also to Satanin Perkelly, who pointed out that there's 3 different levels of Satanism. And the lowest level being the people who, use bulls rather than a ram to represent Baphomet, who do a lot of off things like that. So, I can understand that. But if I'm aware that these Satanists have been around since the 70s, the 60s, they've been in, and they got establishments all over the country. They've been here for decades. I find out that you find out. Well, I'm the detective. I find out that they really heavily believe in child sacrifice. Okay, my antennas are up at that point. I'm a detective. So if I see a number of attacks that involve a parent who is into the Church of Satan, if I find a number of them and this becomes a pattern that these people are into some type of Satanism, that's information that could possibly help you. But you have to know when and how to apply it. And let me just say, I got my eye on these people. These bully breed lovers. Because the members of their organization is in the thousands. There are more members today than there have ever been. Have y'all not understood? Satanism has gone mainstream. How many entertainers have you seen dressed up in devils and, you know, they reenacting a scene that you're in hell and all this type of crazy? Now, I didn't see stuff like that as a child. Dude, you did not see stuff like that on TV just a few decades ago. No. The world today is completely insane. Child sacrifice is not out of the question in this crazy world, especially when the people who are involved in these cults make, and this is not a conspiracy. Anybody who think that this is a conspiracy, that actual human sacrifices take place, even if they're covered up, even if it's through spells, even if it's through literal sacrifice, if you don't believe there are people engaged in this, fine. You don't have to. Maybe it's not for you to believe, but it doesn't change the fact that it happens. It is a reality. There's a whole lot more to this world than what you think. That's just a fact. So, dog lovers have this law, a bunch of laws set up where the only thing that will happen is a cop will show up. He will walk into the home, or multiple cops. They'll walk inside the home and they'll see the cadaver of a baby or a toddler or a kid. And they'll ask, what happened? The parent will say, I was in the bathroom. I stepped out for just a second and I heard screaming and I came back. You know, they'll whip up a cry. Okay. It was an accident. And each time it's an accident. And so many times these people whose kid get mauled, they don't look very wealthy. A lot of times they look kind of poor. They don't even look middle class, to be honest. From what I understand, middle class is anything over $48,000 a year. A lot of these people I've reported on they look far away from that. Not above it, beneath it. These look like the people. They look like the types of people who would view $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 as a fortune. That's dangerous. What about that don't you understand? And listen, $100,000, that's a lot of money for me. I'm barely middle class. Somebody hit me with a $100,000 bag, I'm going to quit my job and start my own business. Right now, straight up. It's very dangerous to have not just laws. Understand, GoFundMe is in on it. They're in on it. And listen, it's the laws. Who is it? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a law person. Somebody rules that these attacks were accidents, where the parent had no part in it and would have preferred for it not to happen. How can you say that when they, at the very least, have the thing inside the home? You think that they never intended for it to happen? You think they never even knew that it was possible? As many times as it's already happened? You mean they're still not in violation of the reckless endangerment laws? Look at how laws are bent. And understand, when you get something, the same type of fatality over and over and over and over and over and over, and you keep calling it an accident, that's a crime. That's not just a crime, that's a system. Something is going on. I suspect. And I'm always suspect that something is going on. Any nation of adults who don't want something like that to happen, it won't happen. The president and all the law, it's nothing to say no. At the very least, people, I'm going to be realistic here. If I were to say no dogs, you all would say that's unrealistic, IHD. Oh, you've lost credibility. Okay. The president and all the lawmakers, if they were even sort of serious about safety, they would say no large dogs, no dogs over 30 pounds for nobody, nowhere. We're going to come confiscate them, and then they're just going to have to live out their worthless life and die. That's what I would imagine a dog-loving world would do. Confiscate them and then allow them to live out the rest of their pathetic, worthless, useless lives. In fact, let the dog owners write letters to the dogs while they're in the shelters. You know, maybe the dog lives for another 10 years. You can write 10 years worth of letters to that dumb mutt. Okay? You might as well, because you talk to it, it don't understand what you're saying. So you might as well write letters to them. Same thing. Let you, make the situation as bearable as possible for the dog lovers so they don't commit suicide or, go on shooting sprees or killing sprees. I don't put that past them. If you were to say something like that, and that alone lets you know how sick this has gone way too far, when we know before it even happens that if they were to ban all dogs over 30 pounds, and I say 30 pounds because that's a pretty common weight at the apartment complex I live in. Nobody's supposed to have a dog over 30 pounds. But with most other apartment complexes, it's no dog over 80 pounds. Can you believe that? No dog over 80 pounds? A 70-pound dog can kill an adult easy. Why do these apartment complexes have these rules? Because smaller dogs are not as dangerous. Simply make the whole country like that. That way, people could still enjoy having a pet dog. You just cannot have a killer dog, which fulfills the law, the reckless endangerment law. And really, it's not even fulfilled then, because these small dogs can kill. And they can easily kill infants, and they do. Look it up. Just look it up. Any small dog you want, dachshund, chihuahua, just Google Chihuahua kills baby. Or some other mutt, small mutt kills baby. Baby's still vulnerable, even with small dogs. But in a dog-loving world, society like the United States, I could see their first step, if they were to do it, hey, no large, vicious dogs. They don't even do that. So something is going on. I suspect something's going on. And I'm always suspect something's going on. And I'm going to point out every even minute pattern I see. And I'm going to say that looks suspicious. Okay? Hit dogs holler. So I'm waiting to hear somebody holler. I don't trust nothing about this dog culture. Naturally, people, not even just people, naturally all living things protect their young with their life. They're uncomfortable with anything dangerous, even close to them, especially if they can't communicate with it. Especially if you are a human and that dangerous thing you're talking about is an animal. Can't communicate with it. The worst type of living being to have around, especially in human territory, is one that's deadly, aggressive, will attack unprovoked, nobody knows when, and you can't communicate with it using language. If you populate your community, your nation with creatures like that, so much so that it's just as many of them as there are children, you are an insane country. You are plumb insane. That is utter chaos. Let that sink in. Dangerous dog owner made no attempt to stop attack. They just don't have no answers. None at all. How do we know the dog owner was able to stop the attack? Who cares if they didn't try to? They probably didn't try because they knew they couldn't. Most can't. Stop talking as if all dog lovers have the ability to simply neutralize their dog. That's the problem. We can't control these things. That's why they should be banned. They have no place in society. Y'all all know it. And I got my eye on everybody, not just Satanists. Because understand, Satanists don't always wear satanic clothes. And again, I don't have nothing against people who are Satanists. I don't care what people believe in. But if what you believe in cosigns child sacrifice, and I see a bunch of mutilated kids coming out your house, fool, I'm about to call you out. I'm going to say that looks suspicious. But there are many people who don't wear black, who don't wear bulls and Baphomets on their shirt. They don't have tattoos. In fact, they wear suits. They have important positions, important jobs. Some of them are very famous. Some of them are presidents. And they all engage in Satanism. And if you are not aware of that, that's because you're just unaware. It doesn't change that it's a fact. Dog owner made no attempt to stop attack. Okay, how many stories have we heard about where the owner tried to stop the attack but couldn't? The owner tried to stop the attack, but the dog was too powerful. So I guess they're blaming it on the owner. The very fact that the owner knew that he or she couldn't stop the attack says a lot. Says a whole lot. Now, what in the world? I'm not going to try to catch up with these dog attacks. Yes, ad blocker is detected. I'm not playing with you goofy websites no more. Trying to infect my computer with stupid bugs and whatnot. I believe this dog culture is deep. It's very deep. And I find it hard to believe that there are no detectives, no students, law students who are not paying attention to this. They're out there. Some of them are still young. Some of them are in college. I expect a few rogue experts who are going to go against this dog culture the way it's supposed to be done. Okay, but to be honest with you, and listen, this is just a fact. If there ever were a team or group or organization who spoke against dog culture, some people with credibility, maybe some degrees, had real influence. I don't have much influence at all. I'm not really a threat right now. But if any group were to become a threat, you probably find them dead somewhere. Just like with these rappers. These goofy rappers who take these blood pacts and make pacts with demons, all this stuff. As soon as they try to stop making music or they try to make positive music, you find them dead. You find them dead. Every time they try to stop rapping and become a preacher, you find them jokers dead. Somebody come out, they got real influence, and they're against dangerous dogs in society, you're going to start hearing about people disappearing. I can almost guarantee you that. The dog industry is really, it's just like everything else. Everything is like a mafia. The dog industry is definitely like a mafia. That's why everybody obeys. And you even see it in the White House. Dogs are free to kill and kill and kill, mutilate, permanently disfigure, and they always enjoy the highest praises. Think about that. That same treatment is not given to people. People are not regarded like that. What is this? Is this dog worship? They don't have to verbally say, I worship dogs. Nobody has to verbally say it. You can just act it out, and it is. That makes it so. So I will talk to you dog lovers again some other time, as well as the anti-dog crusaders. Big shout out to everybody. I had a near-death experience the other night. Be honest with you, I had a near-death experience the other night. I thought I was going to die up in here. So that's why I didn't go live last night. I will chop it up. I will share more about that with the members. And I will chop it up with all of you next time as we continue.